Wanted, dead or barely alive. Your old or outdated computers, monitors, and televisions, working or not. Don't trash it, recycle it. eCycle Washington makes it easy. Households, small businesses, public schools, and other organizations in Washington may drop off unwanted computers, monitors, and televisions at over 300 locations statewide for free. Find the location nearest you at ecyclewashington.org and click on Where Can I Recycle? That's ecyclewashington.org.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard the tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back legally on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. There's a girl in West Virginia who realized that her high school principal plagiarized his graduation speech from Ashton Kutcher last week. And this is awesome. If you don't remember, Ashton Kutcher gave a pretty cool speech at the Teen Choice Awards back in 2013 when he won their Ultimate Choice Award.
He was like quoting Steve Jobs, and he gave like this really heartfelt story of him growing up and taking, crappy jobs, but knowing that there was like a future in store for him.
Yeah, and the principal pretty much copied this word for word. And like you said, he even talked about the same story Ashton used of being a teen carrying shingles at a construction site, the part of the crappy jobs he had.
The principal acted like he was the person that worked at the shingles place. So he just stole Ashton's story of what Ashton did as a kid and pretended that it was him. It's hilarious.
And this girl posted a video online that cuts between the speeches so you really can see.
I believe that opportunity looks a lot like hard work.
I believe that opportunity looks a lot like hard work.
When I became 15, I had to get my first paid job carrying shingles up and down a ladder to a roof.
When I was 13, I had my first job with my dad carrying shingles up to the roof.
I never had a job in my life that I was better than.
And I've never had a job in my life that I was better than.
I was always lucky to just have a job.
I was always just lucky to have a job.
Wow. And every job I had was a stepping stone to my next job.
And every job I had was a stepping stone to my next job.
And I never quit my job.
And I never quit my job.
Until I had my next job.
Until I had my next job.
I don't hear any similarities.
No, there's none at all. I don't know what this girl's talking about.
Is he punking the entire school? He acted...
I know. I would hope he is.
Like, gotcha. That was Ashton Kutcher's speech. I'm out.
What a clueless principal to think that you could do something like this and nobody would figure it out. We got more of this high school principal plagiarizing Ashton Kutcher at the high school's graduation. This is the principal, by the way, back in West Virginia.
Steve Jobs said, when you grow up...
Steve Jobs said, when you grow up...
You tend to get told that the world is the way that it is.
You tend to get told that the world is the way that it is.
And that your life...
And that your life...
Is to live your life inside that world.
Is to live your life inside the world.
And maybe get an education.
And maybe get an education.
And get a job.
Get a job.
And make some money.
And make some money.
Have a family.
And have a family.
Wow. He even has like some of the same inflection.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
He did a good job at least recreating it. I'll give him that.
You got to think that there's one student that's listening to this that when they find that out probably got in trouble for plagiarizing. That's a big deal in high school.
Yeah, it is.
Especially nowadays with the internet. You always could have gotten in a lot of trouble, but I feel like nowadays more people are trying to probably get away with stuff because it's at your disposal. So there's probably someone out there that's like, I got suspended for plagiarizing, and now our principal is up there.
Yeah.
Just lifting up a pretty popular speech.
How insane is that? And how many people were told don't use Cliff's Notes back in the day? Don't just copy out of the book or an encyclopedia if you're doing a report.
This guy is awesome.
This guy is just, what a shed.
I don't feel like doing it. Screw it. Let me find a cool speech. Ashton Kutcher. Perfect.
Oh, man. The news talked to the high school senior in West Virginia who noticed that her principal plagiarized Ashton Kutcher's speech at graduation. And she says he needs to apologize.
I think a lot of us I regret what I've done because I'm in a position of leadership and power, and I'm a role model to students. And doing this is something that I tell them is wrong, so I should think it's wrong too.
Yeah.
It seems like a real rational request to have.
Yeah. I mean, actually, it's very rational. I mean, some people would say he should be fired, he should be this, he should be that, and then she's just saying he should just be accountable and apologize.
So says that's the biggest high school in West Virginia as well. So there's a lot of eyes on this school.
That's nuts. Once it started going viral, the principal offered a statement about how he's, quote, a man of faith with 3 master's degrees. He admits he has seen Ashton's speech and borrowed quite a bit from it. You borrowed almost all of it. I mean, everything we heard, it was word for word. He says, quote, it was never my intent to take credit for what I said. Huh? Well,
I love this guy.
It was never your intent to take credit for what you said. You said your dad had you walking up and down the roof. You pretty much said everything as if this was your life. That means you are taking credit. God, I hate when adults think that you're stupid and will give you an excuse that's stupid.
Right, just admit it. Or what if there's a good chance he did work in a shingles place when he was 15? Because didn't he say 15 and Ashton said 13? So
that's true. Maybe he did. He also said, hey, by the way, I didn't get paid extra to give that speech.
Oh, okay. Now he's bitching.
Yeah, just take what you get.
That's him saying, I didn't feel like doing this. They didn't pay me to do this. Screw it. I'm mailing it in.
Rather than just, he took the time to memorize or at least write it all down and read it. I didn't see the video, so I don't know if he's reading from the podium or whatever, but he took the time to write it down, have it transcribed or whatever, and somewhat memorize it, when he just could have said, hey guys, I'm proud of you, go out and do great things. If you don't know how to speak well, then just keep it short and shut up. Don't plagiarize.
One texter's brilliant idea says that he now has to plagiarize the student's apology the student said how he should apologize. He should say that verbatim.
Get the dog. The Dog the Bounty Hunter ones. Yeah. With Uncle Dog.
I am so sorry. Uncle Principal has been a bad principal.
Wow. Uncle Principal?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, honey. I'm not like that. You know that. I'm very sorry. Uncle Dog is so sorry for this.
See, it's Uncle Dog. It's got to be Uncle Principal.
Uncle Dog made a really bad mistake.
Uncle Principal.
Yeah, exactly.
Uncle Dog is going to get punished.
Yes, exactly. He should plagiarize Dog the Bounty Hunter. Yep. I like this idea. Uncle Principal is going to have been a bad man.
That is amazing. That whole speech, I know it's in the grand scheme of things, whatever. But it's pretty freaking funny that he just lifted, of all people, an Ashton Kutcher speech.
And he is the leader of an institution that punishes and discourages people from plagiarizing.
Yes.
That's I mean, the irony, even Alanis could sing a song about this. That's ridiculous.
Like, I'd be like, okay, this is stupid, whatever, you're an idiot. This is funny that you got busted if he was, like, doing a speech in front of, like, a conference or something like that, or even our radio conventions. But when you're doing it in front of a group of people who could get into a lot of trouble for plagiarizing, and you just plagiarize an entire speech, that's next level nuts.
And then you don't act accountable. You give a lame statement saying, I didn't intend it to be that it was about me. Then you go, I didn't get paid extra. I mean, you're just showing the students every reason why they don't like adults anyway, and you're showing them exactly why, because you're an idiot.
Like one text says, man of faith, my ass. What a punk to hide behind the cross as well. Yeah, that is funny.
Yeah.
He said, I'm a man of faith.
See, I know that's unfortunate too, because if you are a person of faith, you go, I don't want this guy speaking for us. Just be accountable. I know, as a person raised Catholic, it's like the first thing I'd say is, oh, you're a man of faith? You better go to confession, okay? You got a few acts of contritions, a couple of Hail Marys, you got to say, you idiot. Jeez. Well, congratulations to that principal. Uncle Principal is a bad principal. All right, Steve, I got things. They surveyed 2,000 people, said this is the thing to start your morning off the right way. These are the top things. If you do these 5 things, you'll have the greatest morning ever.
Hearing a guy completely lift an Ashton Kutcher speech, that made my morning.
Yeah, that did. That did.
I put that at the top of the list today.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I'm looking at this list of things that people do that really put them in a good mood, great morning routines that give them a good day.
A good tune.
And yes.
Music?
Yeah. Number 4.
Okay.
While you're getting ready, while you're in your car. Which is why, I mean, for us, it makes sense. People listen to the show. We throw in some good tunes with the show. Gets them in a good mood.
I got a lot of times where I pop on the Rocky theme as I get off the exit. I'm waiting at the light. And all of a sudden, I'm just like, you know what? It's time to fly.
Yeah? Really?
Completely believe this. You really do? Absolutely, I believe that.
Yeah, I suppose I do too.
Steve loves Rocky so much.
Here's why.
He will do this.
Here's why I believe Steve does this. Because I have been next to Steve. I have been Steve when he tries to rally himself.
And what do I say?
And let's go, Steve.
I say to myself, let's go, Steve.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'll never forget it. It's like Steve does rally himself, and he doesn't care if he's around people or not. He'll just start rallying
I'll
himself.
give myself a pep talk.
Yeah. That's just like...
That was funny. I was so hammered, and we're all somewhere. I think we were at a dinner, and I just say to myself, "Let's go, Steve." And BJ hears and is like, "Did you just give yourself a pep talk?" Yes, I did.
It was the best moment because I don't know how many years we've been working together. It might have been relatively.
It was pretty early in the yeah.
And we were, and I'm just like, this is hysterical. Steve's rallying his own troops.
Wait, you don't do that kind of stuff when you're hammered? I walked out of a door and started clapping because I was able to get out the door when I was hammered.
Yeah.
A friend of mine saw that and was like, "Are you clapping for yourself?" I'm
Good
like,
job.
"Yes, yes, I am."
You and Steve, birds of a feather.
So music, absolutely. I guess
music is number 4 on the list. If you want to have a good day, good morning, they started off with music. Of course, the number one thing, can you guys think of it? I think coffee.
Morning sex.
I was thinking good food. Sorry.
Food, sex, and Rocky.
Yeah.
That's how you get your mornings going.
Pretty much.
That's on my sex playlist, actually.
All right, sorry, Vicky. No food for you. Coffee is number 1. It is the number 1 thing we need to get our day off to a good start. As far as food goes, that's number 5. But Danny, a very light breakfast. They're saying, don't weigh yourself down.
Like a banana.
See, if I wake up and have I usually don't eat breakfast, but if I wake up and have like a good slice of pizza, I'm like, that puts me in a great mood.
Always pizza with you.
Well,
Frozen
I'm just
pizza,
saying,
right?
like if it's something that's really good, yeah, frozen pizza.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I think Danny's got a point there. I think I would be so happy if I knew I could come here every day, and the first thing we do before we start the show is I get a slice of pizza. That's
nice
great.
heated up piece of pizza. Piece of pizza.
Piece of pizza.
You know, and then I could piss off Danny because it would always be a pineapple, Hawaiian pizza.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that would just ruin your day, but whatever.
I get pretty pumped about my peanut butter and jelly sandwich for breakfast every morning. My wife is even like, when are you going to tell me that you're sick of this? I've been making you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for the last 4 years.
I know. I'm with her.
Every morning.
I'm so surprised that it's the easiest sandwich to make, and you love it.
I was like, don't ever change. It's perfect.
I haven't had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I can't remember when. I can't remember the last time I had one.
Oh, you're missing out, dude.
Well, I mean, I know what they were. I used to. I mean, they were
about 4.5 hours ago for me.
That's nuts. That is so crazy. I can't think of the last time I had one.
Like, honestly, if McDonald's opened early enough, I would probably stop there like every morning to just have like a sausage McMuffin.
Yeah.
So that would put me in such a good mood for the day. Yeah.
Back when I was at my heaviest, and this is a big reason why I was at my heaviest, I would make it a point to swing by Jack in the Box every morning and get not even a breakfast sandwich sometimes. Sometimes I would just get a jumbo Jack.
Yeah.
Nice.
And tacos.
I mean, that makes sense.
All the tacos.
Yeah, donuts. My thing were donuts, and of course, back when I started on the East Coast, Dunkin' Donuts, of course, and oh man, that was that. Yeah, because that's what I needed to wake up. Give me some coffee and donuts. That was the thing. How about number 2 on the list, which is really shows you how powerful coffee is? Because number 2, I think, should be number 1, which is waking up after getting enough sleep.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
It doesn't make sense.
Every once in a while that happens to me. Like I wake up before the alarm goes, and I wake up and I go, oh, I feel pretty good. And like, wow, the alarm hasn't gone off yet.
I have had that happen. Sometimes Lulu gets anxious because she needs to go to the bathroom. She's on her own routine. And so it'll be around like 3-ish in the morning. And if I didn't have the alarm set, I'm feeling her pawing at me. And that kind of makes my day great because I'm like, oh, this is cute. The dog's waking me up. And then I look at my phone. I'm like, oh, I should get up any second now. My alarm's going to go off. So it puts me, I'm just like, cool. I'm up and going.
It all worked out well.
I didn't have to get terrified by my stupid alarm clock.
Yeah. Number 3 is my number 1.
What's that?
A morning shower.
Yep.
Oh, I don't even know.
That helps out so much.
I love morning
There's
showers.
no way in hell I'm going to get a morning shower.
Wow.
Yeah, I love morning showers.
You're a night shower, right?
I'm a whenever the shower happens shower, but it's not first thing in the morning. So it's night, afternoon, something along those times. But yeah, I just couldn't imagine getting up early enough to get a shower in as well. Even if it's like it only takes an extra 5 to 10 minutes, I don't even want to deal with that.
And see, you guys don't have hair, so you don't have to worry about like drying your hair and fixing your hair.
That's
so
why I love it.
The morning shower is just a pain in the ass.
It takes a while for me to dry and get my beard ready.
No, you're not. Will you please?
Calm down.
It takes an extra minute and a half.
Yeah, please. All right, what do you think is the number 1 reason that we bail on plans? I should say you bail on plans. I have a hard time bailing on plans.
Yeah, you're not a plan bailer.
No, and I get pissed when people bail on my plans. Well, I've got the number 1 reason why you do it. I'll tell you at 8:17 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Well, we're stoked, man. We are getting some great summer weather earlier than we did. I mean, we got the June gloom, which normally happens, but it burns off and gives way to some really awesome sun, which isn't really what we know if you've been here over 10 years. Usually it's July 5th and you're done.
Yeah, I even said something that said, like, the weather, we already scored the third warmest spring on record.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Washington.
Yeah, so now when I wake up and see the clouds, I look like what a lot of folks in California look like. They go, well, it'll probably burn off like a marine layer. And so I've even heard somebody on our, I might have been King 5, I can't remember, one of the weather people saying, oh, it's a June gloom. And I go, that's not something that I hear around here a lot, because, you know, the June, we get gloom all the time, but it's changing, buddy.
I miss the days of when summer would start after July 4th.
Yes. The reason I bring it up is because when the good weather gets here, the summer season means we actually get more social events on our calendar. And the one thing about us Pacific Northwesterners, especially here in Western Washington, we're not the most social. A lot of us really, like to sort of keep to ourselves. And, the Seattle Freeze isn't just a nickname. It's a thing. Mm-hmm. So when you have 30% more of social activities popping up in the summer, plus the weather's hot and the sun's out, and, that can give a lot of people problems. So people then go, you know what? I had plans. I'm going to bail. That happens here a lot, too.
Yeah, there are times where we always like, oh man, I don't want to do that. And you want to get out of it, but then you do it, and you're like, why were we even questioning if we wanted to do it? Once we did it, it was a blast. I don't know if that happens with you sometimes, where you're like dreading doing something, and then when you do it, you're like, that was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's my life.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, the wife will drag me off to do stuff, and I'll be like, and then I have the best time ever.
And we've known this since we were kids. Remember when we go, look, you'll like it once you get there, and our parents would drag us to stuff. Mm-hmm. Yet it never gets easier to do stuff we don't want to do, even when we have, like you said, Steve, these stackable experiences that show that we actually do like it.
And I'm sure the Rev gives his wife a hard time every time. Mm-hmm. And every time she probably says, just like the last time, just like the last time.
No, I'm not doing it.
It's like Groundhog's Day of planning.
Yeah. So, a lot of us bail, and I got the top 7 reasons why people do bail on their plans.
Somebody says the number one reason you bail on your plans is because you didn't want to go in the first place. You just finally found the right excuse.
Yep. Yeah, and that actually is number 4 on the list. Just didn't feel like going. Mm-hmm. So then why did you say yes?
Because maybe when you said yes, you did think it was a good idea?
Yes. Well, that's exactly what happens to me.
I will tell you, I was also told in some cultures, now I don't know if it really goes here, but with India, like a lot of folks, when we used to interact with a lot of Indians, my wife and I, because of the Hare Krishna religion, found out that when you meet a lot of people, that are from India, it's the yes but no. It's like what they're saying is, we'd love to get together with you. That sounds like a wonderful idea because you're a wonderful couple. Mm-hmm. But they don't finish the sentence and say, no, we're not going to. So instead, they just say, yes, that's great. Yeah, let's get together. And, of course, it never happens. And I wonder if there's a little bit of that here where you think it would be a great idea to get together with you, but really, no. I just don't want to get together with anybody, but we just don't say that.
Well, it's like how we had this conversation, I think, last week, where I don't like making plans because a lot of times I just don't know what kind of mood I'm going to be in on the day that the plans are supposed to happen.
That's right. You have said that.
And so I'd rather just keep my schedule open. And then if the feeling is right that day, I'm like, all right, I'll show up then.
And I think a lot of it has to do with like your mental well-being too, because there's days where I'm like, hell yeah, let's go bar crawl, let's go talk to people, let's go do things. And then the time comes, I'm like, I am not mentally capable to talking to anybody right now, and I need my alone time. And luckily I have friends where I can tell them that, you know what, I can't, and this is why, and they're okay with it. I try not to do it often.
Yeah, well, I think number 7 on the list has got to be you, Vicky. This is the reason. The number 7 reason why people bail on plans. This has got to be Vicky binge watching a show and didn't want to stop.
Really?
One more episode?
No, because I know when the shows I want to watch are coming out, so I schedule and plan accordingly. It's like, nope, Stranger Things season 3 is coming out that weekend. I can't hang out.
I've never not gone somewhere because I was too busy watching television.
Yeah, I think there's a combo platter of not wanting to go in the first place.
Gotcha.
And then you're watching your show that you really dig, and you go, why am I going to go?
That seems like a really, really lame excuse. Coming from me, who gives really, really lame excuses.
Like, sorry, I can't make it to your party. I'm rewatching How I Met Your Mother.
I have done it, and I did it out of bitterness because, you know me, I don't like to cancel plans, and I hate when plans are canceled for me. But it wasn't for TV shows, but my friends were getting together to have play some board games, but I already committed to go to somebody else's party. And I was just like, God, I can't believe I'm going to miss it. They're playing all my favorite games. And I just said, I'm not going to the party.
Wow.
Did you go to the board game thing?
I did. I just called them and go, guys, guess what? My plans changed. But I thought, everybody cancels on me. Why can't I cancel? And then I thought, plus this party's got a lot of people. So what if I don't go? But
did you tell them why you weren't going?
Oh, no, I didn't tell them why.
Did you hide all
Did
you tell your friends, hey, don't put this on Facebook? I'm not here.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping that nobody would go in there and check it out. Yeah. But I felt really guilty doing it. But, you know, the number one reason I'm surprised people don't go to anything is bad weather. But I think that makes sense. If you're supposed to do outside stuff and the weather's pouring down, why would you still go to that event?
Totally.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what they're meaning, but you might be right.
Yeah, I don't know what else it does mean.
Because in that situation, wouldn't just the event be canceled?
Sometimes, you know, maybe it's like a barbecue. Oh, we'll hold it inside. And you go, well, no, I don't want to spend all the time in your house. But, you know, again, Steve, I think they didn't want to go.
Your house sucks. Your backyard's cool, but your house sucks.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I'll tell you, for me, sometimes if people have a lot of pets, but they have an outside party, I'll go to the outside party because I can escape otherwise I got to down a whole box of Claritin.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And number 2 on the list is feeling sick. But that's a good reason to bail, right? That's the only legitimate reason is you don't feel well.
But more often than not, someone's lying when they say that.
Yeah.
You know, because how are you going to fight that? You can't be like, prove it, show up, cough on me.
I just go, I just can't make it. I go, something's come up, I can't make it.
Yeah.
And,
what if they say, well, what came up? Are you ready for a plan B?
I got some personal stuff.
Well,
which is not personal? Lying. Well, I'm not going to tell you that. So when you say I got personal stuff...
And you never know how someone might be.
Especially, I see the women get away with this. It's fantastic.
I do tell people that Aunt Flo just visited me.
By the way, can we take a quick aside?
Yes, sir.
We were in the elevator, my daughter, who I'm trying to teach her how to be a human being.
How's that going
she's
so
almost
far?
30, and you're still trying to do this?
We're in the
almost
elevator.
30. She's 25, right?
We're in the elevator with 2 coworkers, both female.
Okay.
Now, I hadn't seen this coworker in a while. This coworker just got back, and the coworker said, "Oh yeah, well, I had some medical stuff."
Mm-hmm.
So right off the bat, as soon as a female coworker says I have medical stuff, I end the conversation. Any female that says I have medical stuff, if they don't specifically tell you what they do,
you don't play guess.
No, I'm like, as a man, you know the code words when talking with women. I've been raised ever since I was a little kid. You know what? You don't invade a woman's privacy. So if she, I had medical stuff, you go, okay, I'm done. No more conversation.
I'm going to take gonorrhea for $500, Alex.
Well, not Sarah. Sarah's like, wow, what did you have? And she starts going through this laundry list of all these embarrassing medical conditions anybody could have.
Right.
And I'm in the elevator.
Was it embarrassing for you or for her?
It was embarrassing for me because it's women, and they're like, well, I don't want to have these conversations with women that I only know from work. I don't even want to have these conversations with women that I actually know. I mean, it's...
Pull out your phone and play with it while they're doing that.
Oh, but you're right there.
The phone.
Jeez, Steve.
Well, I just want to make sure people
Is that what you do? So you're in a conversation.
Oh, yeah, I check out.
You're directly in a conversation because it's an elevator. It's not like you can wander off.
But if they're talking about feminine stuff, let them have that conversation.
But don't you think you shouldn't bring it up if somebody says, I had medical issues and personal issues? You shut up and say nothing.
Well, some people like small talk.
Oh, no. But I think if they said what the issue was right off the bat, you could do it. But if somebody is vague about their medical condition, I read that as a cue not to go further.
It'd be great if you're like, I didn't come. Why haven't you been at work? I've had hemorrhoids.
Yeah.
Right, good call.
That's what I'm saying. Don't you read the vagueness as to not go further?
Well, I don't ask questions I don't want answers to, so I wouldn't have asked the follow-up question either.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to give Sarah a hard time because maybe that's just what she does.
That's what she's been like ever since she was a little kid. She always just makes it awkward.
For you.
All the time. She doesn't...
Does the woman feel awkward by it?
I looked at her face. It looked like she was really going, okay, you're talking about that. And maybe if it was just the 3 women in the elevator, they wouldn't care.
Right.
But here I am. Here I am. Hi, I'm the guy you don't want to talk about your private stuff, and here I am.
Yeah, I wouldn't have brought it up if there was a dude in the room, especially because I don't know what the hell's going on. Why would I bring that up?
That's my daughter.
Yeah.
She's just a genius.
Good job, Sarah.
And she doesn't think she was wrong. We had a big fight in the car about it on the way home because, she doesn't listen to anybody because she's, I know everything. I'm Sarah.
That's a great impression, actually.
Thank you.
So he says kids. Kids is the number reason why my wife and I cancel plans. Yeah, I think if you have kids.
Yeah.
That's a great reason.
Or if you hate kids and you just cancel plans because you don't want to be around kids.
Here's a pro tip. Tell people you can still go. Is it okay to bring your kid? I always say, no, you're not coming to my house with your kid. Every time. It's a great way if you want to get out of a party. I think that's how people get out of parties with me.
Mental note, if you ask me to come over.
Yeah, say you can bring a kid. Yeah.
I'm going to bring a kid. I don't have one, but I'm bringing a kid. Is that cool?
Anybody got a kid to rent?
Yeah, he's going to rent the kid.
I borrow the kid for the day. I gotta bring him.
I'm short enough. You can rent me.
There you go.
Wait.
See, look, I think if you have kids, I guess you're used to having them in the house, but I haven't had little kids in my house in a long time, so my house is not childproofed. I don't want to, and then if he's coming over to hang with me, I know he's not going to be able to hang and be part of our gaming thing because he's got to watch his kid. You can't let the kid run loose in a strange house.
How about this one? I cancel plans because I keep having to hear the same damn stories. Did I tell you I did blank? Yes, dude. I've heard it 100 times. Yeah.
Oh, that's tough when you're hanging with non-conversationalists. But
that's tough when we visit my family, man. My parents tell my wife the same story every damn time. There's like 5 stories that they seem to rotate.
Yeah.
And now my wife is finally picking up on it. She's like, oh, I've heard this story now. This is my 3rd time hearing this story.
Yeah. Do you guys have a drinking game? Every time you hear the story, just start drinking? Yeah, really, you and your wife should start doing that.
We'd have to have our stomachs pumped, though.
Yeah.
From so much alcohol.
I don't want to be that guy. Do you think so they're losing their minds a little bit? That just happens.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to be that guy. I want to find something else to talk about in life besides just embarrassing my kid.
I think they're just really pumped to share the story, but they forget that they've already shared it a billion times.
That's the thing. Yeah. Yeah. I lead with, I always go, I don't know if I told you about blah, blah. And as soon as they go, yeah, then I go, all right, well, I'm going to extrapolate or I'll abandon ship. But
have you ever had someone go, hey, I've already told you about blah, 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 and you haven't heard the story, but just based on their description, you know it's not going to be a good story. So you say, oh, yeah, I've totally heard that story.
Oh, that's a great idea. I haven't done that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I would love to be able to use that power. I think I just will say it anyway. As soon as they start talking about anything, I go, oh, you told me that story.
That's from, yeah. I'm feeling like this isn't going to be.
Do they ever test you and go, okay, what happened?
Stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. Remember, you really, whoo.
So it says they use their dog as an excuse.
Oh, nowadays, that's like kids. Mm-hmm. Yeah. How about people say they wound up double booking 2 events at the same time?
Yeah.
I get mad at that person. See, I don't like that excuse.
You tell them that you're choosing the other plans over the plans that they
people have told me that.
No, that's what I mean. Someone will say, I double booked and the other plans are cooler.
Exactly. I yelled at a guy for that. I was like, I told... I said, you are now, you've gone from the upper echelon of my board game crew.
You're off the list.
You are now at the bottom. You're not off the list. I go, but you are officially notified as being on the bottom because you are flaky
You
McGee.
are on notice!
And this poor guy still hangs out with me, but,
he's an understudy now.
He's an understudy, and I give him grief all the time. I go, you coming, or is someone else going to come to town and you're not going to come?
An alternate.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're right, Steve. It sucks when you realize you're not the first choice.
Yep.
Dude, I booked 2 events for the same day, and I'm the one not getting the rose. Okay, great, thanks. That's fantastic.
But I've had some people like cancel on something, and I'm like, well, why are you canceling? You were the first one that said you're in. They're like, yeah, it's mostly a bunch of couples. I have an opportunity to go somewhere with a bunch of single chicks, and I kind of want to holler at them. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. By all means, don't come to my boring party.
That's a solid excuse,
right.
though.
Mine's just a couples event. Like, why would you want to be there?
Yeah,
if you
that's
have an opportunity to get laid. By all means, go for the opportunity to get laid.
Thank you. Because, I feel like I'm the last one that's not in a relationship with a group of friends. And then when I go, it's like, yeah, I'm like the 8th man here, like just odd one out. And then they're like, hey, we'll be your wingman. I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah, that's very weird.
It's like have like 8 couples and they're all watching you talk to a dude. It's like, no, I'd rather not go. Thanks.
No, that's weird because they're all like trying to push for it to be like, this could be the one.
Yeah. It's like, okay, leave me the F alone.
Yeah, it's always fun when they're all coupled up and happy.
Oh, yeah, it's a fun spectator sport.
And then I love the comments, oh, you'll find them when you least expect it. It's like, screw off.
Yeah.
Well, they are right. I mean, no, I'm kidding.
So I'm going to punch you.
Dude, that happened, though. I remember when we were getting married, we had a big couple. For everyone that was involved in our wedding, everybody was in a relationship except for D. Ted Smith. And he loves sharing this story, too, because it was just like one of those moments. We go to the melting pot, and all of us are all together, and we're having a great time. And they had some kind of a deal where, like, you could get this couple's dinner. And it had like, this really cool option. So everybody was getting that. And Ted wanted it, too. He was willing to pay for it. But, because it looked delicious. And the waiter or waitress, I can't remember if it was a male or a female, he goes, I'll take that as well. And she's like, I'm sorry, but that's only for people that's only for 2 people. can't get that alone.
How do you say that to somebody?
Oh, he was like, well, thanks a lot for reminding me that I don't have anybody.
That is...
I'll be Ted's designated second person. That
for
sounds
the melting
amazing.
pot.
For the
right.
melting pot, yeah.
That is brutal to do
Oh,
that.
it was like a dagger.
Oh, yeah, no tip for you, Lou. Jeez, how dumb is that to say?
It was awful.
Oh, man.
Yeah, if you ever see him next time, ask him about the melting pot experience.
I mean, it's a great story.
He got denied a meal because he wasn't in a relationship.
And you know me, I would have been giving him grief the whole time. Going,
Trust me. Dude, of course me. I'm like, this is the best meal ever. I'm so glad I'm getting married.
What a great friend you are to Ted.
Well, you only hurt the ones you love,
that's
right?
Right. That's very true. That's awesome. On Friday, the best friend ever, Steve, got this one wrong.
What country is the original home of Bacardi rum?
Country of Germany.
No.
Nope. England.
No.
France.
No.
Italy.
No.
Yeah. You know what? I could sit there and make fun of you, but I didn't until recently realize how Cuba was actually the rum place.
Cuba.
Good old Cuba. You want a shot at BD Steve? You got it. 206-421-ROCK. We're playing Beat Miggs at 8:47 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. Here's another question from a listener. How long is a bankruptcy going to affect my credit rating?
Of course, most of the time, by the time we're talking about filing a bankruptcy, the credit has already taken a huge hit. Chapter 7 is going to affect it more negatively than Chapter 13. Chapter 7 stays on your credit report for 10 years from the time you file. It usually takes 7 or 8 years for your credit scores to get back into the normal range in a Chapter 7 case. However, your credit will start to recover even in Chapter 7 after about a year. You'll be able to get credit again right away, usually before your case is even over. Chapter 13 stays on your credit report for 7 years and usually takes about 3.5 years for your credit to get back in the normal range. So Chapter 13 will mean your credit gets better much more rapidly.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.
Take back your space. Stop storing old electronics you'll never use again. Recycle your computers, monitors, and televisions for free with eCycle Washington. This free program can be used by households, small businesses, public schools, and other organizations across the state. Drop off unwanted TVs, computers, and monitors at over 300 locations in Washington state for free. Please check for the drop-off location nearest you at eCycleWashington.org. That's one word, eCycleWashington.org, and click on the Where Can I Recycle link.